Lucia arrived on a rainy afternoon. She stepped out of the elevator and into a quiet penthouse studio, surrounded by tall windows and thick, heavy velvet curtains. The air was still, the light soft. The space felt like a different world come, timeless and meticulously kept. The artist was already there, waiting by a large canvas, a quiet smile on his face. "You came," he said, his voice a low hum that barely disturbed the silence. Lucia nodded, her own voice just as soft. "I'm here for the project. 30 days. He offered her a simple agreement. A single sheet of paper with clean, typed words. No distractions. No phones. No contact with the outside world. Just time. Time to observe, to reflect, and to create." She signed it without a moment of hesitation. This wasn't just about a painting. She knew it was a chance to step away from the noise, to discover something real, something hidden within the quiet moments. This was a search for connection, an exploration of mystery. Over the next few days, Lucia became a part of the studio's gentle rhythm. She would sit quietly on a worn leather chair as the artist painted, his brush moving with a silent, hypnotic grace. Sometimes she would read from the thick, leather-bound books that lined the shelves by the window, the words blurring as she watched the rain trace paths down the glass. Other times, she would walk between the rows of canvases, observing the works in progress, feeling the presence of the figures he was creating. They rarely spoke, but the silence that filled the space between them was never empty. It was a comfortable quiet, a shared understanding that words were not always necessary. Each new painting he started captured something different about her, not just what she looked like, but the subtle way she moved. The way she held her shoulders when she was lost in thought. The way her presence seemed to shift and change with the light. The studio became a sanctuary, and the project, a silent conversation. One afternoon, as the light turned golden, Lucia noticed something unusual, a pattern she hadn't seen before. She walked from canvas to canvas, her footsteps echoing softly on the wooden floor. None of the portraits had a face. Each figure was beautifully rendered, full of life and emotion. But where the face should be, there was only a smooth, blank space. She finally turned to him, her curiosity overcoming her quiet nature. "Why?" she asked gently. "Why do you leave them blank?" He paused his work, setting his brush down carefully. He looked not at her, but at the canvas, as if the answer was there. "Because sometimes," he said, his voice thoughtful, "a person is more than what you see on the surface. Expression isn't just in a smile or a frown. It comes through posture, through presence, through the way a person occupies a space. The truest self is often revealed when the mask is removed." Lucia thought about that. She thought about the faces people wear, the expressions they force, and she said nothing more, understanding him completely. On the 17th day, a detail caught her eye. A door she had always assumed was a closet was slightly ajar, a sliver of darkness in the bright studio. Her curiosity pulled her forward. She pushed the door open to reveal a room she had never seen before. It was a storage space, filled with paintings, dozens of film, all leaning against the walls in neat rows. They were all faceless portraits, just like the ones in the main studio. But as she looked closer, she realized they were all of her, or they looked like her. The figures were older in some, dressed differently in others. Their poses unfamiliar yet hauntingly recognizable. She turned to the artist, who had followed her into the room. She was surprised, confused. "How did you make these?" "I don't remember posing for any of them." He looked at the collection of paintings with a strange sense of nostalgia. He paused, choosing his words carefully. "I've been preparing for this project for years," he explained. "I've been painting this idea, this presence, this story. It was never about a specific person. It was about a feeling, an essence. You just happened to fit it perfectly." She wasn't entirely sure what that meant. Was she just a puzzle piece, or had fate brought her here? The mystery of it stayed with her, long after she left the small, hidden room. The final day arrived. Day 30. The studio was filled with a quiet, ethereal light that filtered through the velvet curtains. The rain had stopped. Lucia sat near the window, her usual spot, while the artist worked on one last, large canvas. He painted slowly, his movements deliberate, capturing every detail of her presence with intense care. The silence in the room was profound. Neither of them spoke, but they both felt the weight of the moment. They both knew this was the end of the project, the end of their shared world. When he finally set his brush down, the painting was finished. It showed Lucia sitting calmly by the window, looking out, her posture thoughtful and steady. She was not just a subject in a painting. She was a presence, a story told without words, a soul captured without a face. The project was complete. The 30 days were over. As she stood to leave, she looked at the artist, and for the first time, their eyes met in a long, silent acknowledgement. Thank you. Goodbye. This was Velvet Room, a story of creativity, of silence, and of the connections that are forged in the spaces between words. It is a reminder that the deepest truths about ourselves are often found when we stop trying to show the world a perfect face and instead simply allow ourselves to be present. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this journey with us. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more meaningful content from our channel. Until next time, keep looking for the beauty in the quiet moments and keep creating.